Okay, I'm going to do a quick little review on a couple products here from Slip 2000. It says Gun Lube and EWL Extreme Weapons Lubricant. These are both a CLP style of gun lube. They are also non-toxic, and I find that to be a very positive aspect whenever possible. There's no need in subjecting ourselves to more hazardous material than we absolutely have to. We have enough of it in our day-to-day life already, so why not get non-toxic when you can? Important point being, it needs to work, and I do feel that these products work. One thing that prompted me to do this little video is I find it very difficult to find new information about this product. While I've been using it for a while myself, I just haven't seen people ask about it or talk about it. The reason being, it's been around for quite a while. The oldest reference I found with a quick search online was from 2005. So, being an older product like that, when a new product comes out, people tend to latch onto those and they get more attention. Products like Frog Lube, which have only been out for 2 or 3 years now, they seem to get more attention, being that they're the new thing. I do like Frog Lube. I have tried it and it seems to work very well. I personally don't subscribe to all the claims the company makes about the product. Some of it just seems a little bit too good to be true. And not only that, Frog Lube, the way you use it, it has a very specific use. You have to apply it and use it a certain way, or they say it will not work properly. And I do not like that kind of a thing. I prefer to have a product I can just use and go about my business. I don't have to have any special procedures for beyond what I already have for general maintenance reasons. Now, 2 products, 2 uses. Standard gun lube, designed for standard semi-automatic firearms and general use rifles like M16 AR, and EWL, which was designed specifically for a belt-fed firearm. And the reason is belt-fed firearms are very harsh in their internal firing environment. They get very hot very quickly. They have a lot of moving parts that move very quickly. Lubricant can get slung off and cooked off from the heat that builds up. So it is a very harsh test of any lubricant. I have seen people take gallon jugs of old mill issue CLP and pour it over top of a belt-fed fire machine gun during extended training exercises to keep the thing working properly. And I mean, it just slung all that extra lubricant everywhere. It was a mess to fire after they did that, but it kept it running. But it's not particularly an ideal situation. It's kind of difficult to lug around gallon jugs in the field. So something that didn't require such treatment, probably a good idea. So that's why Slip 2K came up with this. I'm understanding that the Marine Corps specifically wanted these sort of things and have a contract with Slip 2K for the use of their product. How far it goes, if it's generally issued to just every troop, I don't know, or I do not know. That's after my time in the service. So, one of the things I have found is that the standard gun lube cleans better than the EWL lubricant. I have seen other people say this as well. And it seems that a trade-off had to be made with the EWL. They could get the better lubrication properties, but it just didn't clean as well. I don't find that a big thing, because I have access to both, And the reason I have access to both is my personal philosophies on how to maintain a firearm. I do not like to clean after every single range trip. I have only so much time in the day, and as much as I like to fire the firearms, cleaning them, not so much. I used to when I was younger, but just kind of the chore became more work than fun. So personally, I like to fire several hundred rounds to 1,000 rounds through the firearm first. So my general use is I clean with gun lube, lubricate with EWL. That way the extended time frame between cleanings doesn't affect things as much. Another reason, gun lube is almost half the cost. 16-ounce bottle like this costs 20 to 25 bucks. EWL costs 35 to 40 bucks for the same amount. So cleaning requires much more product than the lubrication phase of gun maintenance. So clean with a gun lube, wipe all the parts down, get parts clean to my satisfaction, and then I have a general coating when I'm done of a good product that I know will protect the metal parts from corrosion and other issues. And then the important surfaces, all the bearing surfaces in the rifle or pistol, whatever I happen to be lubricating, I will use EWL. As you can see here, this rifle bolt, the shiny areas, the bearing surfaces, are still very shiny, even though this bolt is sitting in my safe vertically for over a month untouched. The weather has prevented me from getting out and shooting as much as I would like. And this rifle has several hundred rounds through it already, and still plenty of lubricant left on the bolt. I could grab this rifle confident that it's lubricated properly if I needed it for whatever reason. That's not what I'd use this particular rifle for, but I feel that I could use this lubricant in that kind of situation in a defensive firearm and not have to worry about it draining off. I've seen the old break fee CLP style lubricants and standard gun oils like Hops gun oil. They will drain off. It's the CLP for break free specifically I have seen get very gummy and dry out if it's left untouched for a few weeks or so. Not a desirable property at all in a firearm lube. Maybe if you reuse the thing regularly, you cleaned very regularly, you would not have a problem, say in a military style environment, but it's not something I like in my rifles. I do not shoot them as often or clean them as often. So as far as the lubrication properties, I find they are very, very good. This bolt has seen at least 1,500 rounds to 2,000 rounds. I do not have an exact count, I don't do that, but it's not an insignificant amount of rounds. And as you can see, there's very, very little wear on the bearing surfaces. A little bit of shiny areas on some of the leading edges. And that is it. So I find this stuff works very well as a gun lube. So you're not trading off any function with this stuff. I find this stuff works very, very well. It's held up very well. It doesn't seem to bake off. It has a very high temperature range that it can withstand. And as a general purpose lube, it works well, and I don't have to do any special treatment. I put it on and go, and that is a very important thing for me. It's just how easy it is to use. Some people may find that they want to clean better than a CLP can do, and there are products from Slip 2000 that are non-toxic that are supposed to clean very, very well. I have never used them myself, but everything I've read about them says they work very, very well. If you don't want to use their products, there are other very good general purpose cleaners. You can use quite a few newer ones that are non-toxic. You can go from the old standby hops number 9 if you really like that stuff to the newer stuff. Either way, if you feel you need it, it's perfectly fine. This stuff is supposed to be fully compatible with pretty much any cleaner out there, and you won't have to worry about any interactions between products. This stuff is supposed to be very stable, even mixed with other products. That is a very, very good thing. Some products do not like to be mixed with other products. EWL, I know, comes in a 30 weight, which is a very thick oil as well. So if you prefer to have a thicker oil than the standard stuff, which is this just general oil thickness like you would get with just any CLP or gun oil. They also make a couple different grades of grease, I do believe. I do know they make a thicker grease that's about as thick as standard grease you would get at, say, an automotive store. I do believe they also have thinner stuff, and I really prefer thinner stuff when using grease on a firearm, because if it does get cold, grease can start to thicken up a bit. So I use the thinner stuff. And if you're going to use a grease, I suggest you use the thinner stuff too, unless you just need the thicker stuff. An example of what I'm talking about. Something like this. Ooh, crap, I'm making a mess on my table because it kept coming out. Alright, as you can see, it's very soft, and that's what you want. You don't need it to be overly thick. So, let's get some of this. I'll just put it on my bolt here. I don't want it to go to waste. Put it on some bolt lugs. Alright. There. That particular grease I'm using is not EWL grease. That's another product I use. It's made by Lubriplate. It is a aluminum based grease, not a lithium based grease. And aluminum based greases have superior properties over lithium when it comes to wear and environment conditions that it's used in. This stuff is also non-toxic. It is specifically designed for use in heavy machinery in the food processing industry. So it is food safe. But that is another story, another time. But you can find good products for cleaning your rifle just about anywhere, as long as you know what you're looking for and the properties you need. That is the important thing. It needs to stay put. It needs to lubricate well. It needs to not dry out over time. And I do find that the Slip 2K stuff works extremely well for that. No special procedure. Put it on and go. So hopefully this will help you make your decision. If you decide to use this, great. If you decide to use another product, good too. There are many fine products out there. It is all personal choice. There are pros and cons to everything. You weigh yours and you choose what you want. But definitely look at this stuff and give it a good look at for potential use in your firearms. I do think it's worthy of anybody's firearm collection if they so choose to use it. Now hopefully you've come away a little bit better informed. Thank you.